All right, guys, you just finished watching me win the MLS Cup. Now, as you can see, I wanted to, before I get into the last episode, I wanted to kind of, touch base on just a couple things. First off, we've won the MLS Cup 3 years running. So that means all 3 seasons I've been playing as the New York Red Bulls, we've lifted the Super Cup. So that's freaking awesome. Also, we won the quintuple. It's freaking crazy, man. We won the Cup, the Supporter Shield. We won the Eastern Conference, the Campeones Cup, and the U.S. Cup. Now, here's what drives me up the wall. You watched me winning the Club World Championship. Is that not another trophy? And then we won the Champions League to boot. So that's 7 trophies we won this season. I don't understand. The North American Champions Cup starts in 2026, but we won it this previous year. So I don't understand why it doesn't show that. We also won the Leagues Cup. So, man, that's 8 trophies we won. We won the conference, we won the Supporter Shield, we won the MLS Cup, we won the Campeones Cup, the Leagues Cup, the US Cup, North American Champions League, and then we won the Club World Championship. That's 8 trophies, guys. 8. So why does it only say 5? It drives me crazy. All right, he's injured. Oh wow, okay. We won 440 grand for that. That's freaking awesome. All right, we move up on list of record title winners. All right, we're at 3. So hopefully, before I end this series, we can tie LA Galaxy with winning 5. So that would be kind of cool. Now, 3 times in a row. Yep, I just covered that. Of course, they're happy. Spendy loan finishes. Yep. He doesn't belong to us anymore. So we'll get into that later. All right. What did we get? Oh, for qualifying for the North American Champions League. Wow, we've won 11.25. That's my allocation money. Because in the MLS, whenever you win or qualify for the North American Champions Cup, you get allocation money. So that's freaking ridiculous amount of money that we have, man. All right. There we go. Okay. And then also right here, a Generation Adidas player are players that the MLS thinks are going to be really, really good players for the MLS. All right. In the draft. So it's like the top 1% of the draft or 2%, something like that, become Generation Adidas players. What that means is the league pays their contract, which is kind of cool. But unfortunately, Cooper played so many games this season that he graduated from the program. So now he goes towards our salary cap. However, I honestly don't think that Sports Interactive has figured this into salary cap. I think I've been paying his salary cap all along, which is crazy because you're not supposed to be able to do that. Plus, homegrown players for their first contract, it should come straight out of the league, not out of our salary cap, but I don't think that works either. But I just wanted to kind of show you a couple things with that. Oh, man. Oh, okay. Not at all. Because the season's over. That's just crazy. All right, so this is the end of the season. I will be back shortly with, I guess, the review, and we'll talk a little bit about transfers and stuff like that. So anyway, I will be back, guys. So I'm just going to pause it, and I will be back shortly. Well, it's time, everybody, for the New York Red Bulls end of season review for the 2025 season. This is the end of season 3. So once again, I'm going to harp on my trophies. I have a Supporter Shield, the Eastern Conference, the MLS Cup, the US Cup, which is the first time we won that, and the Campeones Cup, which is the second time. We also won the Leagues Cup, the Club World Championship, and then the North American Champions League, or the Champions Cup as it's called now. So I don't know why those do not show up, but it's very, very frustrating. All right, so now on to the new arrivals. Oh, this is hilarious. All right. That just completely switched, but that's okay. All right, so Camonte, we signed him for 300,000. He made 34 appearances, so he didn't have a bad year. Honestly, 6.86 isn't horrendous. And in Beachy, we paid 600 grand for him from Swindon. He's an English striker. You know, he didn't play near as much, only 7, but he had a 6.93, which wasn't bad. All right, Green, 1.7 million. The board are content with the deal. You know, whatever, man. I mean, for crying out loud, look, he was an MLS All-Star for guys' doggone sakes. But, you know, we'll get into some more with him here in just a bit. All right, Anderson, we signed as a free agent. I know it says Colorado, but that's a team that waived him. He didn't play that much, but he wasn't supposed to. He's a French player. All right, Estevez, you know, we signed him. We paid $5 million for him. He's been a pretty good right back for us. He made 53 appearances in all competitions. Endrick, unbelievable, man. The board are pleased with the deal. However, we feel that the player's salary is too high for this place in the squad. Are you freaking kidding me? He won a lot of awards, and I'll cover that here pretty soon. But we paid $22.5 million for the young man, and wow, it's just, I don't know if he's going to be here next season, but we'll see. All right. Mapa Okubi, we signed him for $2 million, and he made 26 appearances. He didn't do too bad, if you want to know the truth about it. All right, Osman, wow. An A+. That's outstanding. Yeah, we didn't have to pay a transfer. He's a free agent. I just couldn't believe that. But he was a heck of a player this year. And then Brown, all right, $5 million. He got an A+ too. You know, but it cost us $5 million. But he replaced Token, and he did a heck of a job. So once again, I don't know how many players are going to be here next year. I couldn't tell you. Oh, Mr. Golickson. You know, we got rid of him for $9 million. Once again, when players want improved contracts and I don't have the designated player slots, I have to do something. So, and not only that, but when some of these teams come in for these players, there's not much I can really do about it except get rid of them. So, you know, it is what it is. All right, Kamala, we made a good deal on him, but they're still not happy about it. Golickson, they were, which is crazy. All right, Durdovic, whatever, you know, he was one of the players I got in the draft the first year, and he didn't really play very much for us, and he went out on loan to St. Pat's, and they ended up buying him, so that's good. All right, Garcia, you know, they're pleased. He only made $1 million, but he just wasn't getting any play time. I put him in the B team, and, you know, he went out on loan a couple times, and he just wasn't doing very good. All right, this kid here. Oh, it's y'all know the story about him. I had a special episode on that one, but you know, I ended up trading because he wanted a contract I couldn't give him, and then they released him like at the end of the year or whenever it was. I got him and I signed him again, thinking that, you know, I would just take the contract that he had, and then he complained he wanted another contract again, so I sold him. I'm like, the heck with that. All right, Ryan, he was one of the free agents I picked up, so we made a little bit of money off of him. It's not a big deal. All right, Fernando. $34.5 million. They're content. I don't know why. That's the highest fee that I got at the time, and they're not happy about it. And I'm like, what the heck? All right, Peretz, I knew they wouldn't be too happy. I didn't want to sell him, but once again, when teams come in for him, there's not much I could do. Token, you know, once again, I didn't want to sell him, but I kind of had to transfer list him just because I didn't have any more slots available, and his contract was getting ready to expire, and he wanted a huge contract, so I got rid of him. All right, Trelly, once again, when teams come in for players, there's not much I could do. And in Mansburg, same thing. But you know what? You know, I made a lot of money, and of course I didn't talk about the main one, which is Spendy. Not very happy about that. They're content with the deal. I made a hell of a lot of money, and I got him back for the end of the season for loan, and he was going to leave at the end of December, but he got injured, so they took him anyway, but we were done with the season, so it's no big deal. I debated. I really didn't want to let him go. Really didn't. They come in for like $20 million or some crazy thing, and, you know, I said, no, heck no. And then I got him up to $55 million, and I said, yeah, okay, let's go. All right. All right, so there we go. The season results. The board's pleased. We won the MLS, and we didn't just win it. We We just massacred the whole league, man. I mean, look at that. 90 points is what we had. We drew 3 and lost 2. Are you freaking kidding me? And they weren't blowouts. I mean, we lost by one goal in each one. And look at that. That's not bad. Montreal, what the heck? We tied them both times. That's crazy. Once again, I stem most of the season. All right, the Champions League. I don't understand. We won it last year, so I wish it would count that, but it doesn't. All right, the Campeones Cup. All right, we won that one too. The Leagues Cup, we won that one. And the U.S. Cup. I'm glad that the board is happy. That's the first time that we've won that cup. So I was very excited, and we had an easy road, is from what I could tell. So not too bad. All right, moments to remember. Our biggest win, 8-2 against Columbus. That's freaking crazy. Match to remember. North American Champions Cup when we beat Toluca, and I think it went to overtime. Not overtime, penalties. And then goal of the season. There we go. Miss Suhui. Oh, the finances. This is freaking crazy. All right, we're up in everything. Our reputation has actually, woo! The club's reputation has increased from national to continental. This will help us to attract a higher caliber of player to the club. That's awesome. No new sponsorship deals this year, but we should have some for next year, I hope. All right, we are up from sponsorship, broadcast revenue, barely. All right, hospitality, whatever, competition prize money, we were way up thanks to that champions or club world championship is what that's from. All right, now the jerseys. All right, Kabik, Ibrahim, Endrick, Misahui, and Vitic are our top 5 jersey sales. That's pretty good. Look at that. We had Spendy. Doggone it, man. They took him out just because, we sold him and they didn't count the record or his average rating and whatnot. That's ridiculous. But everybody was almost to a 7, and that's crazy. That's just really crazy. But that's our team for the most part. All right, the accolades. There is a crap load of accolades, and I'll talk more about it here in a minute. All right. Archie Brown was Fans Player of the Season. Young Player of the Season was Osman. Signing of the season was Ukubi. That's crazy. Goal of the season, Masui. Endrick's top goal scorer. Most assists is Kabik. Most Player of the Match award is Kabik. Highest average rating was Brown with a 7.4. Most passes completed was Craig, who played a little bit. All right, competition awards. Champions, there was a crap load of awards in here, man. The Champions Cup, best young player was Brown. Newcomer of the year was Brown. Defender of the year was Brown. Landon Donovan, most valuable player was Endrick. Golden Boot was Endrick. Young player of the year for the MLS was Endrick. Portuguese under 21 player of the year was Estevez. That's crazy. All right, the Champions Cup best goalkeeper was Green, and then the goalkeeper of the year for the MLS was also Green. So that's freaking crazy. All right, most overall goals by a player in the season went to Endrick for 34. And I remember I did get an email. I checked whenever I stop simming. I have hundreds of emails, and I go through them, believe it or not. But I noticed he was like really close to breaking the record, so that was really, really good. All right, most assist was Kabik at 33. Most shutouts, there you go, Green with 16. Most Player of the Match award was 9 with Kabik. Highest transfer fee paid was $22.5 million for Endrick, and then highest received was Spendy for a big ass $55 million. History in the making. I wish they would cover them, but whatever. All right. I don't really care about any of this, but we're going to finish. All right, players inducted into the New York overall best 11. All right, Green, Brown, of course, Vitic was already there. All right, Osman was the pick of the 5 players. Da-da-da-da-da-da. All right, so Endrick, Kamala, Morgan. Yep, I love Morgan. All right, Ibrahim, Spendy, Vitic, Williams, Trilly, and Green. That's good. Trilly's still there. He was a heck of a player for us. And Green, I guess it's because of the All-State goalkeeper of the season, maybe. Anyway, that takes care of that. All right, now with the point tally. Now, once again, I just kind of put this together, and I'm definitely going to have to change it for the next, when I do DC United and for the future, because this is ridiculous, man. I'm just getting way too many points. But, all right, we're going to go with it for now until I finish this one up. But we won the Club World Championship, so that's 5 points. We won the Champions League, which is 3. We won the Supporters Shield, Campeones Cup, MLS Cup, Leagues Cup, and the U.S. Open, which is 2 each, so that's 10. Woo! All right. The Eastern Conference we won, and we made the playoffs, so that was 2 points. Next year, I'm not going to have the playoff one. The All-Star game, I think I'm still going to have that one. Green, Estevez, Spindy, Wittek, Endrick, Missouri, Williams, and Osman all made the All-Star team. All right, the Club World Championships Dream Team was Williams, and I misspelled the Williams. Sorry about that. And Fernando, and that's 2 points there. The MLS Team of the Year was Green, Williams, Wittek, Brown, Estevez, Ibrahim, or Osman, Kabik, and Endrick for a total of 8. That's crazy. The MLS New Player of the Year and Defender of the Year went to Brown. That's 2 points. Landon Donovan MVP, the Golden Boot and Young Player of the Year went to Endrick for 3. Goalkeeper of the Year was Green. And Coach of the Year was Helvig, which is my assistant coach. I put him in there because that should be me, but for whatever reason, when you sim, it doesn't count me as being the coach. I freaking hate that. Here's all of my players here. You can see them. That's the Team of the Year. The Dream 11, Green, Wittek, Williams, Estevez, and Brown with Ibrahim, Kabik, and Endrick. That is awesome. Okay, the Champions League Golden Ball was Golickson. He was still here for that, remember, because it's in March, I believe. The best young player was Brown. Best goalkeeper was Green. The Dream Team was Green, Estevez, Brown, Spindy, Fernando, and Endrick. The Dream Team was, I'm sorry, that was the CWC. I messed that one up. That's Williams and Fernando. That was 2. Sorry about that. And then, all right, we had 56 points for the season. The total to date is 111, man. There's nobody that's going to catch me. I could play DC United, and I'm not going to do as well. New York actually had a pretty good team when I took them over, and they had money to spend. DC United, I can tell you now, they don't have that much money to spend. They went out and signed a bunch of crappy players. It's going to be rough. So this is going to definitely be an all-time high here. Plus, I'm going to change it for next season anyway. So, we'll see. But anyway, guys, that is season 3, end of season review, and my little, slideshows here, my PowerPoint, just kind of wanted to show you what's going on. But anyway, I have 2 seasons left, so the next episode will be season 4. Once spring training is, not spring training, oh my God, I'm thinking baseball, man. I tell you what, it's wintertime and I'm thinking baseball. That ain't good. But once we get to the transfer window pretty much ending, I'm going to go ahead and have the first episode of the season right before the game starts, and we'll go from there. So anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you at the next episode.